as therapists, as Adam mentioned earlier when we were talking, like the work is not contingent on what I believe. So I don't have to insert my beliefs into my work. So therefore, I don't necessarily need to insert my beliefs into this. But at the same time, some of those conversations might come up and my own beliefs are relevant to the conversation that we're having.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's like a fine line.
Yeah. I think there is a distinction there, right? Like talk about like the therapeutic realm in sitting with a client. If my ideals and my, what's the word? We'll stick with that. If my ideals are spilling over into therapy to the degree that I'm telling a client what he shouldn't think, right?
Yeah.
Then, obviously, I think at some point you've got to really like look at yourself and ask yourself, what exactly are you even doing? You know what I mean? We're not proselytizing. We're not trying to indoctrinate, right? We are going in and we're helping people deconflict their own conflicts, right?
Yeah.
Which is as varied as people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can be.
How do you approach that in the room when someone has incredibly different beliefs than you? Whether it's political or gender oriented or culture oriented, anything that is different than your beliefs. Like, how do you approach that in the room? Because we're human, so there is some internal bias there.
Sure.
Like, we're not perfect.
Sure. Yeah.
How would you say? What would you say?
How would I approach that in the room? With an open mind, with an open heart, I think, and really, really trying to, I think when I'm in that realm with somebody, I'm trying to get as close to them as I can, as close to their experience as I can, right?
Yeah.
And it's impossible to be one with that person, right? But I want to get as close to that as I can, to that intimacy, that level of intimacy, right? And so I think that if I'm bringing less of me into that process, by default, they are bringing more of them into the process. And it's going to become clearer. So I guess, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah.
The way I approach it, I try to be transparent in almost a literal sense. I try to be a Casper the Friendly Ghost, clear, and just go in there and absorb what they're telling me and try to put myself empathetically into their shoes as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Just to piggyback off that, I feel the same way, right? And I've been able to kind of like master, at least in my eyes, master like the poker face. Because I've realized how important it is to like not have a reaction, whether they're seeking one, right? Because they always like tend to gauge you when they're looking at you, like, and they're disclosing something pretty deep, and they're like, are you gonna have like a gross reaction to it, or a disturbed reaction, or a funny reaction? Who knows, right? And just being able to like master that, I feel like does bring that level of like comfort for them. So I guess in a way I relate to that, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it's hard though at times when it's like, it's honoring who they are, but also calling them on their bullshit. I think when they're not being authentic to who they are, or if they're doing something for a particular reason that is going to hurt them.
Right.
But at the same time, that isn't my own belief anyway. It's just, it's getting, as you said, as close to their experience as possible to know when they're doing some bullshit.
Right.
Because you get to know them so intimately that you could decipher when they're being them at its core or not.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think, I guess, your beliefs even matter in the therapy room.
Yeah. I mean, if you're bringing beliefs into that realm, I think you are inhibiting the flow of whatever you want to call it, intimacy, information, whatever, in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.